Welcome to game 2 of Skruffy vs Ytlander. This time, Skruffy changed up, going for Orzum. Ytlander plays Orzum once more. Both players ready for a mirror matchup for the ages, as neither of them not really too sure what to do in this matchup. Ytlander going for the natural with a bit more resources. As we can see here, Skruffy's natural only has 3,600. This one has 6,000. However, it does seem a bit easier to defend what with the ram and the citadel placement right here. However, Ytlander taking a more natural. It's a bit harder to defend. And at the back, Skruffy getting that first. And let's see how greedy they actually go. Okay, no, both of them going the exact same economical build. Legion Hall will be going up soon for Skruffy right after only one Ether. So not as tech heavy in this matchup. Neither of them going for that second one. Want to get that very early. Of course, on this map, there are 4 paracamps once more. Paracamps useful for get those overworld abilities from the Immortals. 3 unique abilities for every single Immortal. So far we have 4. We will end up with about 15 around launch with 5 different factions. Of course, each Immortal counts as a sub-faction of its own faction, replacing 2 of the units and giving 3 completely different overworld abilities. Plus the more normal one, which summons the faction Citadel. If you're playing Arwoods, it will be a slightly different Citadel, being a Grove Guardian. But this one does the trick as well. What will they go for next? In the last game, we did see Ytlander. Well, it's a completely different matchup, right? That is one of the Force of Immortals where each player can really play to his preference, playing the style he wants to go for. And both of them going for the Soul Foundry right after the Legion Hall. This is natural follow-up. Of course, you could go for some other units from the early game. Ooh, I like this from Ytlander though. Pulling 2 extra modes as these Derelict Towers, which do give 15 Pyre, do not attack workers. So getting them with 2 modes, it does delay his economy just a little bit. By doing that. However, he gets that Pyre advantage, being able to get on the map while they're both fighting for this Pyre. And Ytlander here has to be careful, does not want to kill the Ancient here, the Elder. Skruffy is on top of it. And Skruffy now with 3 workers. Ytlander has to be very careful not to engage here. If he does, it's to go for the kill and not get surrounded. Oh, the teapot as well, trying to come in and steal it. Oh, here comes the third one from Ytlander. Now they're both here. Skruffy this whole time has been attacked by the Elder, so taking a bit extra damage, and yeah, he goes for it, gets the power, and runs out. Can back to the Citadel right here to heal up. Behind this, this Pyre Camp is still available. Of course, there's also the ones in the corners here and at the bottom here. Absolvers coming out for Skruffy. On the other side, Dervish for Ytlander's side, so a bit more mobility. But a bit more power on Skruffy's side, going for the zone control units. Ytlander will go for the skirmisher units, which are good for just going in and out of battle, jumping in, jumping out, killing some workers. Bit more speed, good against the light units, which most of the early game, the first units, the tier 1 units, often are very light units. And Skruffy with a decent power lead to start the game. Teapot coming in, scouts everything. And the push is coming. Skruffy coming with his 2 Absolvers. Everyone is reuniting together. The 2 Absolvers to 4 Centauri, and how does Ytlander respond? Is he coming in strong and powerful? But those, oh man, they're well set up on the top of the hill, on top of it. Ytlander does have a slight advantage being in the hallowed ground, so if he could defend, he will have range while his opponent does not. But those Absolvers with the range is a pretty big difference. Ytlander instead decides to go for the counterattack, expecting his opponent not to have too much to defend at home. He does have 1 Absolver, but 1 Absolver is not enough to stop the strength of this whole army. And both of them will be down the base after this, unless Skruffy finds it in him. Defend this base as well, but it will not be easy. There we go, 1 base down. Oh, production structures as well going down. Ytlander was a bit smarter putting inside his base. This one is so exposed that losing the production structure is very dangerous. And Dervish at the back of this, getting damage of his own. But Skruffy is coming back for the revenge tour. Kills 1 production structure in exchange for losing his base, but all the units are coming back, and Ytlander will need to run very soon if he doesn't want to lose this game, all his units, and that's the game from this. Oh yeah, Absolver sieging up, time to run. Didn't lose much yet, only lost 1, lost a lot of modes, lost the Centauri there, and lost the Dervish. Not sure he got too many worker kills as well, so a pretty decent lead for Skruffy as Ytlander reestablishes his second and takes his third at the same time. Wants to catch up in the economical game. Way he's planning to do that is getting an extra base. Of course, he might have an advantage here. The Scepter is in the air, and there's no anti-air so far for his opponent. Engineer just finished though. Putting down another Legion Hall. He won't be able to get more Absolvers in this, but he might just not need them. Oh man, any more Pirate Ladder is. And this base might be forfeit. Skruffy catching his opponent out of position. Let's take out this base, and there's not much he can do to keep this one alive again. At least the second natural will be coming back online. This one a bit less certain. Cancelled last minute. Doesn't want to lose the moat for nothing. Scepters doing your damage, at least forcing the moats away. Wait, where are all the moats? Did the moats all die? Oh wow, I missed that. Okay, moats are here. Good, he didn't lose all the moats at least. Going for the... Heading for a Legion Hall, I like this. He needs to take this out before he can take it out, as it was already damaged quite a bit. His opponent making those Sentinels. Those Scepters are here to stay for now. Kill that. He will need some anti-air of his own, as he does not have any anti-air. Here comes the Absolvers to help defend. Orzum puts its foundation here. Does not want this base to die again from this very annoying Absolver attack. And Ytlander moving out. Will catch this Absolvers out of position. No, Skruffy! All this lead you've been building up. Okay, only one Absolver goes down. Expensive loss, but it's not his own army. Ytlander doing his best to try and surround, but his units are a bit slower. And Zentari doing the same thing again, going around the base to find another angle of attack. And the Skruffy has been excellent at this, forcing his opponents out of position, getting them. However, how do you deal with this? The Scepter might not survive, will probably not survive this, but those three Zentari surely will cause a lot of damage to Ytlander, who needs to concentrate on this attack. Might actually kill his Emboldened Sword, which is a delight for him, as he hasn't really been able to do much from it. Their side, where's his second Scepter? First one goes down. Ytlander keep it alive. 2 Sentinels of his own to defend everything, but I know he had a Scepter earlier. I wonder if they both just will die. Oh, Scepter of his own for Ytlander. But the base might still go down. Needs to be careful to not die from those Absolvers, but he wants it to go down at this point, so will attack it, retreat. Absolver might just be forfeit. Oh yeah, 2 Zephyrs on top of it. The Sentinels cannot stay here much longer. And yeah, another big win for Skruffy. We look at the army value 3 times that of his opponent. Miller does his best, finally gets his units up and running. Empire Unbroken wasn't necessary here, as he had enough to chase him away, but the update doesn't really matter. We'll heal it up as well, and as there's no really way to heal your buildings at this point in the game development, of course the game is still in alpha. Yeah, Skruffy has a very powerful force. He's been winning a few engagements. Killing the economy of his opponent has been the biggest factor so far. And army supply wise, Ytlander doesn't really have enough. Scepter coming in, can attack those poor moats again. But that Citadel is a powerful reinforcement. Placing it there is great for keeping this alive. But Skruffy doesn't really care. He just wants to stop the mining. And with auto mining as well, there's not much you can do about this. Zephyrs want to get the Scepter, but Scepter has so much HP on top of having 2 Sentinels there. Whew. Skruffy did his damage, wasn't able to kill as much as he wanted. And on your side, placing some Citadels, does not want to die from any counterattack, as the last base was killed. And they're both on free bases. I think the best survive. Where's the next? Bearer of the Crown, going for the thrones. On the other side, okay, going for the Howlers, I believe, the House of the Raising Saint. Is that it? House of Fading Saints? Yeah, House of Fading Saints allows them to get Howlers, which will be good at dealing with those Absolvers. But now it's a Zephyr Howler composition, a bit more expensive. The Generalists are not as strong as Zentari straight up, but with the Wind Step and extra Micro Steps, they can deal with them very well. Construct is up. Skruffy was ready for it. Just put down one of his Zephyrs. Strong position. Pillar of the Heavens come down for Ytlander. Really wants to deal with his opponent. Gets the very first 2 Absolvers from the get-go. And that's a powerful start to this fight. At this point, he just wants to get the Absolver. And no, Skruffy still gets it. All his units were enough. Lost some expensive units in the meanwhile. And look at the army value. It's equalized. But Skruffy does have a big lead in the Pyre. And using the Pillar to kill his Absolvers is decent enough. And with no anti-air anymore for Skruffy. Staying his 4th base. His main is pretty well defended on this side with all these towers. That's an expensive use of it. Yes. Trying to poke forward. Nothing much, but he doesn't really care. He's going for the Bearer of the Crown. With the thrones coming out, here we go. Throne on its way. Not much going on for Skruffy's side, going the long way around. Looking to counterattack his opponent. Scepter might just be intercepted at the wrong spot. And with this, Ytlander should be able to take this out. There's not many units here, and he can see it. The tower foundation's a bit in the way, but it won't matter too much. He takes it as his own. It's going to be harder for his opponent to break this. And Skruffy does not care, going for the counterattack on the east side. Might just jump in, get this base, and jump out. Nothing left to defend, at least. At least Skruffy can think that he took out this base, but he does not have that many units. The Halber's heading back to help defend those against those Zephyrs. He has enough for Empire Unbroken if he wants to keep it alive, but that might not be enough to defend it. Okay, Empire Unbroken is still raised. Zephyr's still attacking, hoping to take it down before the heal comes up. And all of the units from Skruffy, yeah, this is enough units to stop, to attack those Zephyrs. And is he willing to sacrifice his units to finish this off? That's what we're about to see. Is Skruffy running, doing the round around? The other side, Ytlander is still trying to divert his opponent's attention. And Zephyr's looking for the long way around, looking for a way out of here without losing too much. The Moat's getting off the line to deal a bit of extra damage. But that's a big army that Ytlander's losing, that Skruffy's losing. You want to be careful with trading out your units for nothing. You kill the base, it's not for nothing at all, but you're not trading against your opponent's army. And the army of Ytlander, as we can see, is 800 away, and it just keeps going higher and higher at this point. This might be a game-breaking move. While killing the base is great, Ytlander just replace it and has a stronger army at this point. A few Zephyrs still up here, being very annoying. Last one will go down. Well, can he get the Zentari at the very least? Yeah, he gets one final Zentari for his troubles. The other side, Ytlander checking if the expansions are here. Ytlander just has complete map control from losing his expansion, but at the very least, he has map control now, which is great for him. Getting a bit of extra power here. And the thrones are all for Skruffy. How much anti-air does Ytlander has? Probably wants to get some castigators, some very beefy anti-air specialists to deal with these thrones. Not sure if he's seen them yet. If he has, he would want to get those as soon as possible. No, still no castigators coming, but the throne has been detected. Zephyrs are out, and Ytlander playing this very well, patiently expanding on the map, getting some nice positions, and Skruffy forced to expand more on the right side. Of course, has been detected by the teapot. Teapot's really keeping an eye on everything on his opponent's side. The throne here ready to keep harassing for anything he sees. Ytlander's next step, no castigators still. He believes he can stop it with the Zephyrs, going for more Absolvers to keep that. Oh wow, that's a lot of Zentari. All his Ether going into the thrones. Those Zentari ready to pounce, at least at the tower, and if not, killing this base once more. There's 2 Citadels this time, but 2 Citadels might not be enough to stop this push. And Ytlander sees that, says, oh, okay, I'm just going to counterattack you instead. He has no time for this trouble. He can just counterattack and kill his opponent. Will it be a base rate? No, he's heading back. He wants to catch his opponent out of position again, and that could make a big difference. He is protected, but the Pillar of the Heavens comes down for Skruffy. Skruffy wants this position, wants to kill these bases. And there's not much going on for his opponent right now. Okay, here I'm not sure. He could have caught him from the back and just try and surround him. At this point, Skruffy might get the base and be able to just run out right after killing it. And that's just a total loss for Ytlander, which is pretty... which is a hard loss. But he might be waiting for his next units to come out. Yeah, the Cascaders are coming in now. He wants the units to deal with the thrones. He sees how powerful they are. And the Absolvers are ready to move in. The Howlers are at the front. That's not where you want them to be. Swords of Godhead, pounce and kill, delete those Absolvers. Absolvers surviving on 1 HP is more than enough to keep dealing their damage. But he wants more Absolver than this. This army against army fight. Ytlander is still ahead in the army value, but it comes down to the fight itself. The Thrones are powerful. They need some anti-hero against him. There's not that much anti-hero. Those Zephyrs able to do some damage, but they're getting attacked by those Antari. Moving back to the Absolver's protection range. Oh, that's perfect. The minigun going like crazy. All the Scepter, all the Antari, all that's left are the Thrones. Thrones are powerful, but are they powerful enough? On the other side, oh, that's good from Skruffy, taking a Citadel of his own on his opponent's Tower Foundation. And will make it harder for Ytlander to retake this base, as Citadel will always be annoying to take down. But now Ytlander has the army advantage, has the pyre advantage as well, and took the space to the front, which is a pretty cute place to take it. To where the next damage comes from. And Sentinel against 2 Thrones. Not sure I want to take that fight. Sentinels did decently, but the Cascaders are what we truly want against the Thrones, and that's a lot of Thrones though. With good micro Cascaders deal with them really well though. It's as hard a hard counter you get in this game as you can get in this game. Thrones coming back down. Good harass from Skruffy, looking for ways to take out his opponent, distract him while he expands to the lower side. The Teapot sees it, but Ytlander going, heading out, getting some more pyre from killing that ancient. Throne gets some kills, runs away after, and 400 pyre. My god, Ytlander. That can be enough to win the game if he wants, if he jumps at the right opportunity, but that's a lot of Thrones. He needs the perfect units to deal with them. Zephyrs can't deal with the Thrones, but he needs to get in the right position. And again, here comes the next push for our good friend Skruffy. Ytlander expanding on the east side. You don't need more pyre, Ytlander. You just need to kill your opponent. Okay, putting the Tower Foundation now. He's just done with this Throne. He wants it dead. Going all around. But he has no area units to detect it. Scepter's coming in here. There's nothing mining left for Skruffy, so Skruffy is just mining from 1 base at this point. No, there's two bases mining. This one is fully running as well. Oh, yeah, no. Skruffy is fine. Those Scepters doing some damage, but those are expensive units to lose. Hopefully he can run away with them, and he is. And a push coming from Ytlander on the east side. A few Zephyrs staying behind to deal with this Throne. Throne moving forward, attacking the Citadel. That might be not enough. Oh, that's very cute. Putting that, using that pyre to good use, right? Will the Thrones arrive in time? That's a lot of Thrones, and they are jumping on top of this. Yeah, Rook of Ira is very powerful. At this point, Ytlander cannot take this fight. Ytlander needs to run before this fight happens. But will he? Does he have time? And his units all get bladed to death. The minigun of those swords comes down. The Zephyrs win step forward to attack these units. Ytlander's losing his whole army. The Throne's coming at just the right time with the Howlers and everything. And Ytlander is left with almost nothing. Retaking this base, at least it's far away from that Citadel. But it might be too little, too late for our Orzum lover Ytlander. Our base going down. Citadel is really well placed to taking out this base. Feel bad for Skruffy. He's tried a few times. Yeah, he keeps trying. And yeah, with the army coming in, Ytlander is in a lot of trouble. What army is he looking for to defeat this? His army of Thrones, Cascaders are a good choice, but he still needs to deal with the rest of the army, and Tower going down. So be careful not to lose any more units to this. No. That poor little windstepper. Yeah, Antari doing his best. But behind this... Wait, did he Empire Unbroken? No. Okay, no. The Arden Conquest works. And behind this... The attack comes in. All the Thrones are jumping on top of this base. And the Throne Massacre is starting. Ytlander calls it at that. He sees all those Thrones and doesn't think he can come back from this. GG for a good friend.